Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast. There's going to be the usual stuff, let's face it. The format's pretty set now. It's going to be games, movies, TV, VR, possibly, and a load of stuff from the week. That's basically how it goes. Yeah. If you're checking us out on YouTube, thanks. We appreciate it. We would appreciate it more if you were a subscriber, though, wouldn't we? Let's be real here. We would. If you are a subscriber, well, drop us a comment and let us know. We'll give you a virtual high five. If you just like listening, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't feel guilty. But if you could subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's SoundCloud, iTunes, or one of these newfangled places to get podcasts, then that would be amazing. Anyway, here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. I don't know what it is every time. I set everything up, I get ready to rock and roll. Stand up, sit down, I'm like, well, that's in the wrong place. Good evening. I mean, it could be morning when you're listening to this. It is absolutely evening when I'm recording this. Obviously, let's get the business side of things out of the way. Drinking a non-alcoholic rye beer. And it is delightful. Quite dark. I noticed when I poured it, I was like, oh, it's dark. So how are you doing? Enjoying what I imagine is a very warm time? Are you one of the lizard people that loves it? Good. Let me just jump back. Yeah, I'm just looking at last week's list to see if I've already talked about some stuff. My brother-in-law, I'm supposed to be helping him out with a thing, but I'm really, let's face it, he's helping me. He's helping me to not die. Doing a new workout regime and a new running regime. Not gonna lie, initially I was like, oh, that sounds like a terrible idea. No, that's not true. I was absolutely well and truly up for helping out. And then it was very much you need to run like this many days a week, which I was doing anyway. It's not like it was much of a change, but it's different every day. It's not my slow and steady wins the race pace. And then I've completely had to change my working out routine, which ultimately, and this is the conversation I've been having in the last week, basically I've been in a maintenance phase for 14 months. Anybody who doesn't know what a maintenance phase is basically you don't want to put any more muscle on, but you don't want to lose any. So you keep exercising, but you're not like increasing the weight or the reps or the sets or anything. Ultimately, at the level I've been doing it for 14 months, I can't imagine I am maintaining anything. I imagine it will have needed small increases, and there have been small increases, but very small and very far apart. So I've had to completely change my workout routine, the exercises I'm doing, the weights I'm doing, Some of it's lighter, some of it's heavier, all of it's different. Other than bench press and dumbbell curls, sorry. I think everything else is different. And some of the workouts are like an hour and a half. I did an hour and a half workout last Monday. And there's a part of me that wants to say, oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. All that running and all that working out. But it's not, it's simply not true. I am loving it. And what I mean by that is I'm loving it. Maybe not so much at the time, because it's hard. It's tough. The running is tough. Some of it's all right. Some of it's just standard running. But some of it's hard. But like, been doing some interval training and loving it. Like different speeds at different times with these, big chunky rests in between, and do it slow and do it fast and do it really fast and then do it slow, and it's been great. Change is as good as a rest, they say. However, probably quite a large shock to the system, and it's just it's thoroughly exhausting. It's you run on Saturdays a 5k. Okay, I haven't done more than 2.5 miles for a little while, so that's a shock to the system. What was nice was I was able to take my eldest with me, because she can do 5k, and she is considerably younger than I am, which swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Obviously she would have more energy and ability, but yeah, she did run off and leave me quite a few times, so nice. Did mean that after one full week of it, I finished the week, what you want to say is I finished the week strong. I finished the week on my knees. The puppy has decided that waking up earlier and earlier each day, absolutely the answer. 5:45 this morning, ready to rock and roll. Then I had the common decency to go back to bed at 6:30. It's like, how about we cut out the middleman and I get 45 minutes more in bed? But no, that is absolutely not on the agenda. Not gonna lie, I was dying by the end of the week. Also, it's like it's moved my rest. One of my rest days has moved, and it's really thrown me out. The times I'm working out has moved. The times I'm running has moved. It's a big change. It is a big change. But I am really enjoying it. It's that kind of enjoyment where I want to say to people like, hey, I'm doing this and it's amazing and it's great. And if you're like me, always in the search of ways to lose weight, stay healthy, stay fit, lift weights, get stronger, all of that, then this could be for you. We had a conversation about diet and nutrition today, conversation about supplements. It's a full package deal. So I'm absolutely loving it. But it's a killer. It's rough with the smooth, I guess. Last week was half term, so got to spend some wonderful time with all of my children. Not gonna lie, a little apprehensive. Couldn't overly explain it. Was just really like, oh, what you know, we have a good time out, we have a nice time out. It's not too stressful, and I knew I was tired, and you know, all of that, everything that goes into it. The puppy is really out of sorts at the moment. Teeth just dropping out of his head left, right, and centre. So that's probably a lot to do with it. But yeah, I was a little apprehensive, and as with everything in life, absolutely no need to be. Really enjoyable time, and people back to work today, and people like, "Oh, did you have a nice time off?" And then it's like, "Yes, I really did. I had a really enjoyable time." You know, people are like, "Did you have a good weekend?" Yeah, I did. I had a really good weekend. A few of the things on the list here managed to get done this weekend, which I'll tell you people about. One of the things that I did Friday, I took my older two children to go to Eureka, to go to the Science Museum. I've talked about the Science Museum previously. I just wanted to highlight a few things. One, bought a ticket for Eureka. What will now be 2 summer holidays ago. So, in the 2019 summer holiday, and it was one of those, you pay that bit extra and you get it for a year, and they just kept extending it because the lockdowns kept coming in and everything kept getting shut down. Some of the places that I bought the yearly family ticket for were like, it was for a year, sod off. But other places have been like, well, yeah, it was a year ticket and you couldn't come, so we've extended it. So Eureka actually contacted us. They're like, we've extended your ticket, so you have to book. So we booked for a time that would be reasonable for getting there. Did the drive, which I was saying today, I haven't done a lot of long distance driving in the last 14 months, and any that I have done at the times that I've been able to, it's a lot quieter than it was. Obviously that is now not the case, so motorway driving when it's busy, a bit of a shock to the system. So we went. The majority of the time that I was there, I would say that they'd done quite well with the, they've got a one-way system, adults have to wear masks, they were very clear about various things, so all of that was great. Does kind of blow your one-way system out of the water when what must have been 80% of their staff at some point in time went running the opposite way through the one-way system. It's like, well, what's the freaking point in having it then? But it's a great place. It's great fun. There's so many things, and although, you know, Science Museum doesn't feel like a museum, it's very much an interactive exhibit, I would sort of go with. Lot of fun. They both enjoyed it. Something that I found was interesting. I was proper flagging. We got there at 12. I was like, I think we need to leave at 3, because it can be anywhere up to a couple of hour drive, depending on traffic and stuff. And I have been stuck in a traffic jam going there previously. So I was like, 3, if we leave at 3, walk back to the car, have a drink or an ice cream or something, and walking back, and then drive back home for tea, sort of deal. Probably by 2:30. This included having eaten lunch, which took best part of an hour. I was proper flagging. But then it turned out that they were as well. So we went and looked at a couple of things again, or stuff that we might have missed, and then I was like, it kind of feels like we might be done here. And they were like, yeah, we can go home if you want. So we did. Went and got a coffee, slice of cake to take home for pudding, and away we went. As it was, we didn't get stuck in any traffic, which it was a little slow going in places, but not stood still. And that was that. And it was a very enjoyable time. They both slept in the car on the way back. I was driving. Honestly, if I hadn't have been driving, I'd have been well and truly gone. Sometimes I'm almost glad I'm driving. I was laughing because my middle daughter, she was absolutely going to fall asleep. You could have put your house on that one. But where my eldest sits in the car, I can see out the back, and then it's just like the rest of the rearview mirror is just her. And I was watching her fall asleep, bless her, and it was hilarious because she was fighting it so hard. And yeah, it got the better of her in the end, bless her. But I was sat laughing to myself because it was hilarious. So yeah, my eldest slept a lot of the way back. My middle daughter slept pretty much all of the way back until we turned off for the last turn in for home. And that was that. An enjoyable time had by all. Like I say, other things that we've done, but I'll cover that further in it. The next thing on my list was running a 5k with my daughter, which obviously I've already covered that. Very enjoyable time. I enjoy it. It's not the first time we've been for a run together. Fingers crossed it won't be the last. And it's something that I really enjoy. It's weird. It's like, of all of the things in all of my life that I ever would have thought that would be part of my life later down the line, I can safely say that wasn't on my list. But I think I probably still have fat guy mentality, maybe. But yeah, an enjoyable thing to do. So, a while ago, I knew that my eldest wanted a game for the DS, I think it was. So, I bought it. And then afterwards I was like, well, hang on a minute, it's not birthday, it's not Christmas, it's not, there are times when if they do things well, if they do things good, if they achieve good things, I will celebrate that, and more often than not it involves me buying something. Not from their point of view, more from mine. And I'm like, oh, you did fantastic there, let me buy you something. Not the best way to do it. But that's a whole other thing. So I bought this game and I gave it to her and I was like, I've bought you this, but for want of a better way of putting it, I don't think you've earned it. She was like, no, not really. I was like, so how about this? It wasn't cheap. I think that game is worth, because she was like, well, I was like, why don't you earn it? She was like, how? Like, doing some jobs. So my suggestion was, I was like, look, it's winter at the moment, so give it some time. When the weather gets nice, you can clean the cars. She was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Obviously, it's kind of a little bit of Never Never on that one, because like I say, it was winter at the time, and I'm talking about waiting until summer. Obviously now we're in the swing of things, we had a few days. Oh, what about cleaning the cars? This was her, not me. Yeah, now's an absolute perfect time to do it. Get it done. So I said to her, I was like, look, I'll cut you a deal. Another deal, a deal on top of a deal. Like, you can pick one of the two cars to go through the car wash. And then all you have to do is wash the other one and hoover and declutter the other. So smartly, rightly so, she picked the big car to go through the car wash. So that was that. I was like, that's the right move, job done. So we went Saturday. Took the car through the car wash. A jolly good time was had. You gotta love going through a car wash. So that was that. That was that part done. I was like, right, we'll get back and now then, we were going to wash and hoover and declutter the other car, and then on Sunday we were going to clean the inside of the big car. So that was that. Got back, like, right, you need a bin bag, we got all the buckets and the sponges and the dirt, and we cleaned the other car. Got it clean, got it, polished up the wheels and the tyres and stuff, all that. Outside looked perfectly acceptable. If I'd have felt we'd had more time, I'd have probably wanted to give it a little wax, but the shampoo I had to buy seemed to say it was a wash and wax, which I 100% believe to be true. So, okay, you need to clean the inside. How do I clean the inside? I was like, well, you need a bin bag, take the rubbish out. You need to condense all the packets of sweets. If you find any packets of sweets that can be put, two open packets, put them into one sort of thing. So we did that. I was like, then you need to pull all the mats out. I went in the boot. I was like, oh, this the centre of the boot comes out, so you can pull that out as well. Parcel shelf. Get all of them out. Get them hoovered. So we did that. She did that. I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll wash the windows for you, and I'll do the the dashboard and the the surrounds, like your door controls and stuff like that. I'll do that for you. You just focus on the hoovering. So, my eldest is 8, and she kept, she'd have to get me to move the hoover for her, move it around the different doors. And she was like, I can't get this mat out because it's under a car seat leg and all of this. So I was helping and I was cleaning. My middle daughter was playing cars, how kids do when there's an open car door, straighten and change all the dials and stuff. And then, as the driver or the parent, you then have to try and work out what's changed. Fun. So that was that. That was our Saturday afternoon activity. So she's like, oh, I've done this, and I'd go and have a look. Before I'd move the hoover on to the next section, I'd go and have a look, and I'd be like, oh, darling, just, give that bit there a hoover, just get those last couple of bits. But early on, I noticed that was it, that was all I was saying to her. It's like, oh, just get this little bit here, just use the hoover like this, and it'll do a better job, sort of thing. And then we'd move on. So after cleaned the car, hoovered the car, did the windows, did the dashboard, put everything back, put all the sweets back in, the important things, obviously. Afterwards, I said to her, I was like, I have to say that I'm absolutely blown away by what you've done there. I was properly impressed, proud, just elated at what she'd achieved. Because other than a couple of things where I'd say, oh, just, run the hoover over it. That little bit there, just to get those last couple of bits of dirt. She did an amazing job. I was blown away. And I had to tell her, I had to say, you've done an amazing job there, because it's important. That car looks immaculate. And I told her, I was like, that is amazing work ethic, and if you can take that with you through your life, you can't go far wrong. And it is something that I'm proper, like, just blown away by it. Just properly blown away by it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sunday comes round, did the inside of the other car, and that's that. 2 spanking clean cars. Amazing work. Super, super, super impressed. I had one of those moments yesterday. It's kind of weird to explain, but it's like it felt like a kind of like a Thanksgiving moment. Obviously, we don't have Thanksgiving in England, although we have sort of embraced it somewhat. But it's like those times that you're supposed to take stock of your life and take time to be thankful for things. And often those moments in time are 30 seconds of 24 hours. So we all watched a movie yesterday. Again, I will come to that. We all watched a movie, and my youngest was up and down as little kids are when the film's on. Middle daughter didn't want to watch it because she didn't like it. Never seen it before. Didn't like it. Funnily enough, by the time we were 10 minutes into it, she was sat on the sofa watching. But you know, that's kids for you. And my eldest sort of camped on the end of the sofa and watched the whole thing. I believe, thoroughly enjoyed it. So the film finished. My youngest wanted Hercules putting on, which I enjoy immensely, because I've been trying to get one of my children into Hercules. And finally, 3 children down the line, I found a child that loves Hercules. But it's that thing. I've got the youngest sitting on my knee. Then the middle one's like, "Oh, but Daddy, I wanted to sit on your knee." Like, well, I've got 2 knees, darling. So, you know, go nuts. And then the youngest starts like jumping on me. And then the middle one's like, "Oh, well, you know, if she's jumping on you, then I'll jump on you." And even the eldest is like, "Well, if they're jumping on you." So there was a point where I was laid on the sofa and all 3 of them were just like jumping on my chest and my stomach and all of that. And we were all laughing and giggling. And I was making a big deal of the, like, ooh, ooh, you know, that sort of thing. They were laughing and stuff. And this smile just slowly started creeping across my face. And it was one of those moments like, this is it. All the stresses and the strains and the tears and the pulling your hair out and the being tired and not knowing if you can do another whatever, another day, another hour, or get out of bed or any of that, all of that, for that 30-second smile, ear to ear, of just pure enjoyment. That's what it's about right there. That's it. If somebody said, "What are you thankful for?" That right there. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to end this section on a downer. Today is the 7th of June. in the last couple of days, I have seen not one, but two mentions of Christmas. Somebody had posted on Facebook that they had booked to go and see the Snowman on the 11th of December. And then I saw an advert that had Christmas music playing on it, and the content of the advert was Christmas. And as you, dear listeners, will know, a little bit of a sore subject for me, because you know, it's summer. I have watched, it's one of those things, I've watched two films that are new to me. As I mentioned, I've watched Hercules a fair few times recently, and that has inspired a game. Play. See if you can guess which game I've been playing. I watched Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. So, here's how this breaks down. This film was released and got not amazing reviews. The majority of the reviews I saw for it were not great. 6 out of 10 kind of area. A lot of, for want of a better way to put it, a lot of abuse. But there was a part of me that was like very much in the camp of, do you know something? I think this is a point in time to ignore the reviews. It's like, even if it's rubbish, then at least I've made my own opinion. So, it did take me a couple of attempts, but I did watch it over a couple of days. And I can say this. In my opinion, the reviews I saw for it were wrong. I really enjoyed that film. A thoroughly enjoyable watch, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. Now, I've seen this thing recently about films being reviewed by certain people, and how maybe the people that are reviewing films, you know, for a living, maybe those people shouldn't be the ones reviewing certain films. And it's really stuck with me. So I was like, here you go, here's an example of the reviews. Army of the Dead probably pushes the zombie genre a little bit too much. So what you end up with is reviews of, it's too much, it's too different, it's not what you'd want, it's not a sequel, it's not this, that and the other. It's not the zombies we're used to kind of reviews. If Army of the Dead had been the zombies we're used to, those exact same people would have reviewed it as, it's all just the same and it's just another zombie movie. Why couldn't they do something different? That's what I learned from this experience. Plus sides. I thought all of the characters in that film were great. Each character in that film was an individual character. Each was different to the next, and they were all likeable or dislikable, depending whether you were supposed to like or dislike them. Some of the likeable characters were really likeable, really enjoyable characters. And then on the flip side, some of the characters you're supposed to dislike were vile. It's like, you're hitting it out of the park character-wise. Yes, it's a different type of zombie story. But do we need the same zombie stories now, in this day and age? Or would it be nice to see somebody exploring the zombie genre a little bit? There was some questions. I don't know whether this is a spoiler, but I'm going to say it anyway, so brace yourself. There was a thing to do with zombie robots, and I had to Google it, and Googling it didn't give me any more of an answer. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch and see if you can, spot what I'm talking about. Having Googled it, apparently there is more to it than, as you'd expect. There is more to it. So I don't know if we're going to get that information at a later point in time. Who knows? Something that's, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put in the negative camp. They've made this big deal about one of the actresses in the film not actually being, quote, technically in the film. So all of her scenes were filmed with just her. And then she has been digitally inserted into the film. And they're like, oh my god, it's seamless. No, it isn't. It's really, really, really obvious and super off-putting. They use this like weird soft focus thing to make it what appears to be really obvious. Also, and this is going to be a bit of one of those, but it wasn't like she was amazing. She wasn't going to win any Oscars. So just get someone else to play that role. Stop, don't mess around with all that nonsense. Just put someone else in that role. I understand, pandemics and things. But for the effect her being in the film had on the film, I'd have taken absolutely anybody else in that role. Other than that, thoroughly enjoyable. Something I must point out, there was a bit so far through the film where something happened. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, you think it's just a bog standard, heist movie with zombies. But it's not. It's a time travel movie. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh, I've worked it out. So it's going to be this, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be this. Literally 20 seconds after I thought that, one of the characters was like, well, maybe it's a time loop, and broke down every part of my theory that I'd come up with 20 seconds beforehand, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? That was crazy insane. Army of the Dead. If you like zombies but you want something new for the genre, give it a whirl. I've been teasing it all podcast. The movie that I watched with my daughters was Raya and the Last Dragon. New to Disney Plus. It's been out since March, I think. But it went on to, you can just watch it on Disney Plus now at the start of June. Another one of those, one I've been looking forward to when I wanted the girls to watch. So we all sat down to watch it. Thoroughly enjoyable movie. Really good fun. Really good. Real Moana feel to it, while simultaneously not really having all that much in common with it. I suppose the aspect of female character travelling across the land to retrieve something, it's there, isn't it? There's very much a Moana feel to that sort of thing. Thoroughly enjoyable. However, this is nothing to do with the film. I missed possibly somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, and there's a possibility that I missed like a big chunk of explanation, because I asked my eldest, I was like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And she rattled off all this stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I've missed an important part of the film, working on the principle that it won't be the last time I ever see it, touch wood. I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll find out at some point. Thoroughly enjoyable. It's great to see even companies like Disney being able to branch out to other cultures. From what I've seen, every time they have actually taken that leap, it's been successful for them. So fingers crossed they keep doing it. Raya and the Last Dragon, good film. So, computer games. I was on my third playthrough of Resident Evil 8 when I gave up. I think it was at the point that I'd completed like the beginning of the game and missed out on one of the challenges, which annoyed me because I'd put a lot of time and effort into achieving the challenge, and once that had passed, I couldn't then do it. And then I had to go on and do the baby house, the escape room section, and I was just like, I've played this game twice back to back. I think I can put this to one side for now. I will probably go back to it at some point, but it's not going to be soon. Take from that what you will. So I looked at my big pile of games. I was like, what's on my list of unfinished games? So I put on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Something that always stuck with me about that game, and it was the ease of which I stopped playing it. Just one day I was like, I don't need to play this at the moment. And it's taken until now to go back to it. So I went back to playing it, and very quickly I kind of unravelled why it's quite dull. And not only is it quite dull, it has loads of the classic Assassin's Creed issues. You know, climb the tower to get the synchronization point, but partway through climbing the tower, randomly jump off even though you had no intention of doing that, and either fall to your death or just have to climb a big tower again because the character jumped off when they weren't supposed to. It has a lot of Assassin's Creed, classic Assassin's Creed annoyances, stuff that I really do feel they should have ironed out by now. It's still, you've still got this whole like the way you fight in the game sort of spans from Origins, and I still just can't really get on board with it. It's just, having got so far through it, it's just not all that great. It's more of a chore than an enjoyment, and that's not what games are supposed to be. I was talking to somebody the other day and I was saying, I'm really glad that I haven't seen any kind of announcement for a new Assassin's Creed game. And I honestly feel at this point in time that I don't want an announcement for a new Assassin's Creed game. I think they need to really take it as a genre backwards and just really think about what they want to do. But all they're going to do is churn another one out. And I think I will honestly have to consider whether I get the next one. He says, having said that many Assassin's Creed games ago. I decided to move on from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And there was a part of me that was like, you should be putting Biomutant on. And there was another part of me that was like, I just can't bring myself to do it. As I mentioned previously, there's a lot of Hercules in my house at the moment. My youngest watches Hercules sometimes a couple of times a day. Absolutely loves it. And every time the film starts and they go through like the backstory of it, and then it gets to the end when there's the invasion of Mount Olympus, I always think, oh man, I really should play God of War 3. And it got that bad recently that I grabbed my copy of God of War 3, installed it onto my PlayStation 4, and have been playing that since. I mean, what do you want me to say about a 3-generation-old game? It's amazing. It's awesome. Hands down one of the best games ever made. It's fantastic. Probably don't need to say much more than that. If you don't know what God of War 3 is by now, kind of feeling you're probably not listening to this going, ooh, that sounds interesting. And there we go. That is basically that. Bit of a whirlwind roller coaster ride of a podcast. But hey, you know, I don't pick the ballroom lady, I just dance. Yeah. Oh, they're all talking about the Floyd Mayweather fight. Oh, it's all heating up. Anyway, that's something for another day. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you guys next time. So there we go. What do you think to that one? Another one done. Poof, I tell you. More podcasts. If you're watching us on YouTube, sweet. Thank you very much. And if you're a subscriber, high five to you. You rule. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, or anywhere, in fact, then thanks. We appreciate it. If you're subscribing on any of those platforms, you are amazing. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.